Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. Going to do a video for you tonight. I woke up thinking about something, created a Facebook post about it, sent some text messages. This is going to blow you away. So I decided I'm going to make another movie. I made a video earlier on about pedophiles, but I'm going to go ahead and make this one here in the middle of the night, and because I think it's that important. And so here I'm going to show you this Facebook post that says drugged and raped by people in the attic. A woman recently told me that she was drugged and raped by the people in her attic while crying. She said that she had never told anybody else this since she had been called crazy for reporting these crimes of people breaking into her attic. She believes this came from something put into the air of her home. In the past, I also noticed something was in the air of my home, which I called poison gas. It was like a strong oil-filled solvent smell, and I even wondered if that had damaged my kidneys. I made videos about this, posted on Facebook about it, and even wrote Sheriff Kreiner and the Texas Rangers about it. I have the emails to show that. Several years ago, another woman told me a similar story, and that is where this print screen came from below. I believe the first woman was in Odessa, Texas, and the second one lives here in Midland. I also believe that I was drugged and knocked out several times before the murder attempt. I was seeing these perfectly round bruises on the tops of my thighs, which I later learned were injection site bruises that are caused by needles. I saw them again when I was in the hospital and getting pain shots. The ex-wife was an RN who carried those needles in her purse, and I suspected that she was the one that was doing this, knocking me out. I've now identified over 50 other homeowners who have reported people in the attic since I was ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going off in my attic, which includes a dozen addresses in Midland and another dozen in Odessa. Obviously, this is the tip of the iceberg, so I suspect there are many other women that have been raped by these criminals. And my friend, Angie McGee Hurley, told me about a young girl that was murdered at an oil show party that she was at in October 2010. I have reason to believe those parties were held in the underground homes that multiple people have said were here, which includes Sheriff candidate Joe Lozano. He told me the underground homes was the hideout for the late Sheriff Gary Painter on a recorded phone call. That's a YouTube video. At 11 p.m. each night of the oil show, Angie would put me on hold and then go get her pill that would make her sleepy. They were systematically drugging all the women there. I recently documented another woman that was at those parties, and she confirmed this. Do we have any law enforcement anymore? Calling the crime victim crazy to cover up crimes doesn't work anymore. Are you okay with this? That was my Facebook post on Facebook here tonight at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. And like I said, this was an old Facebook post that I just remembered I had it, and I went and found it. The woman told me, and I kept her anonymous. She says, 2003, 2004, I put the down payment on a house, and I lived there with my kids for 7 years. Until I read your blogs, I felt as though I was completely insane. I heard people in my attic and the crawl space below on a nightly basis. Have you ever heard of these tunnels in Odessa? See, I think that was Odessa. I know at least 15 to 20 times I came to in my home days after the last time I was coherent. Okay, she woke up after being drugged. I would be in compromising positions and, let's say, less clothes than I was wearing the days before. I believe with everything in me that people were drugging me and human trafficking was occurring. I guess to normal people, these seem like a far stretch of something. I'd like to remain anonymous, but I want to thank you for speaking out. I'm interested to hear if you know of any tunnels in Odessa. Okay, I think each of these homes with people in the attic has a tunnel on them. I think all of them. I think they're rigged, probably similar, the same. Okay. So anyway, I sent this to my friend that I recently been talking to that's been reporting people in the attic. I texted her what I just read to you, and after I posted this on Facebook, I said I sent a text message to my friend telling her this a few minutes ago, and this is what she wrote. I've kept her anonymous for her own safety, okay? And so you can see where I blacked her name out. And I said, she wrote back, she says, I know I was drugged and raped. I know this woman was also drugged and raped. I wish she would have kept in contact with you. And I wrote back and I said she went missing for several years, but then came back and is on my Facebook friends list now. Sadly, she was hooked on meth but is now clean. We haven't talked about this in many years, and I've kept her name anonymous in the public. She writes me, can you understand why I'm struggling to be productive being alone in this house? The pounding on my bedroom door was a signal to how close they are to me. She told me that just happened a couple nights ago. Yes, keep her privacy. God be with her. Buddy, keep all my texts. She's the one that told me, that if something happens to her, I wrote that last night. She says, I want you to know that this is going on if something happens to me, I woke up thinking about this, and I wanted to show you that you're not the only woman to say she was drugged and raped. And Angie told me they were drugging the women at the oil show parties, too. I believe the ex was knocking me out when we were married, too. Somewhere out there has to be police that are not okay with this. That, like I said, that post was tonight. I mean, just a few minutes ago, okay? Or that text message. My second comment here says, in October 2010, my friend Angie McGee Hurley was leaving my home and at the oil show parties in 5 minutes. For this reason, I believe they were held in the underground homes said to be here by many people, and it looks like one of them is located in my backyard according to old Google Maps. This was recently deleted after I told the city of Midland about it. At 11 p.m. each night, Angie would put me on hold while she went and got her pill that would make her sleepy. The sex traffickers were systematically drugging all the women and girls there. One girl didn't want to prostitute, and Angie told me that she didn't wake up, as in they murdered her. I tried to get her to report this murder, but she was afraid and told me that high-level police were also at those parties. I suspected one of those was the late Sheriff Gary Painter after recording Sheriff candidate Joe Lozano saying the underground homes was his hideout. That's a YouTube video. In 2013, the remains of a 14 to 21-year-old girl was found in Midland County. That is why I contacted Lieutenant Gray at the Midland Sheriff's Department a few weeks ago. There are multiple people documented saying those underground homes are here, which legitimate law enforcement could talk to and find out where the tunnel entrances are located. Okay, here's the print screen I was putting there, and this is what I was showing for 10 years. You could go to Google Maps, put in my address, 3802 Fair Circle, and you look in the backyard and you'd see that large building right there in my backyard on the map screen, okay? But it wasn't on the satellite screen. You couldn't see it from above ground. You could see it on the map screen. And I told the city of Midland about this, along with these multiple people documented saying that underground homes are here, and it got deleted. I think somebody at the city of Midland had it deleted to cover up these capital murders, okay? Here's the Midland Crime Stoppers. In 2013 is where the remains of this young girl was found. It's now known to be a black girl from 14 to 21 years old. Homicide is suspected. And she's found out there south of I-20 near FM 1213. So this is a case for the Sheriff's Department here. And that's where I believe that young girl was murdered at, because that's where I believe the oil show parties were going on. Okay. And they were drugging them women there. See the connection? The underground homes is where I was told the pedophile parties were held on a recorded phone call, and I wondered if one of those was going on the night I was ambushed and shot by somebody under my home. The ex-wife told me in so many words that a lot of people were here when I was shot, and they were going to have their lives ruined when it was found out what they were doing, okay? And so because I had recorded that phone call, I just made a video a few hours ago called Underground Pedophile Parties, and it has that recording in it. You listen to that where she tells me about them pedophile parties, and she also gave me specific details on the underground homes. It's like, how many were there? There's 4 of them. How many bedrooms? 3 bedrooms. How deep? She said at least 25 foot deep. She gave me other information on that phone call, and that seems to have checked out by other people. Her information seems to be good. That's why I believe she was correct about these pedophile parties, okay? And so it just makes sense. There's definitely a sexual predator angle to these people in the attic crimes, and they're going on all over the country. That's what I'm saying. Here's history of people in the attic, and it's telling when I first, reported people in the attic. What happens is they don't tell you, the police don't tell you that these crimes are going on all over the country. Okay, I mean they're all over the place. They're hiding it from you, acting like you're the only person in the world has people in your attic and you're crazy. That's what they're doing to cover up these crimes. Here, let me show you. I started imagine when I started hearing these calls on my police scanner. Thank God they didn't rape that family. And, that's what I wanted y'all to hear. And that's just some of them. Okay. That's not even all of them. And the people that have contacted me personally that I've recorded, some of them houses I've been to, it's amazing the amount of evidence that's here. I got 100 videos of burglar alarms going off in my attic, proof that they were hacking the security cameras. It's just unbelievable amount of evidence right here. And now you can add on that they're drugging and raping these women. And this ain't right. It's got to be stopped, folks. That's all there is to it. We have to find good law enforcement. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.